Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. Alright, I think we're good. So this morning I realized that I was live streaming, but we had some technical difficulties and nothing was streamed. So I'm gonna do another one today just because I'm trying to stay consistent. And so I think we're good to go, and I think that I'll be able to live stream with no problem. So let's get started. I did a whole painting, and it just didn't show up because there was something wrong with my settings, and that happened because in the nighttime, just to get rid of some of the barriers, I set up my drawing situation from the night before. So when I wake up, I could just get right into it and start drawing, and I don't have to worry about finding an image and all that stuff. And it just kind of eliminates some of the things that would make me not want to paint. So I did that, and everything was fine. But something happened with my settings. So when I hit record, the software that I used didn't register that it was recording, or it registered but it wasn't showing up on the software. So not only was my streaming session not didn't stream, it also didn't record. So all I have to show for my work this morning is the final image, which didn't come out that great anyway, so I guess it worked out. So here I am back to do another session, because I wanted, I did my time for the day, but I just still didn't feel good about not posting anything live. So here we are. I'm gonna do, I didn't set my timer. I gotta set my timer. I always forget. All right. All right. Set my timer. This timer is going. Okay. So that's the story. So if you tuned in this morning and you literally didn't see anything, my bad. I should have double checked. I thought it was okay, but it was not. So that's life. That's how things go. That is how things go. This morning's painting situation did not go so well. It was okay, but it wasn't the greatest. So it was probably for the best. It just disappeared into history. It's long gone. I'm not really in the mood to paint again, but I'm going to do it because I got to embrace the struggle, which is not even really struggle. It's just me being uncomfortable. I have to embrace the uncomfortableness of it. I was listening to a podcast this morning about happiness and just the world that we live in, and I have a lot to be thankful for, a lot to be happy for, and nothing but space and opportunity for me to do the things that I want to do in life and achieve the things that I want to achieve. And a lot of it is just a matter of doing the things that I don't want to do. It's not always going to be perfect and comfortable. You're not going to want to do the things most of the time, but just setting a schedule for myself and remaining consistent. I mean, that's really all you can do. Setting goals. So one of my goals, I talk about this a lot, is to grow my YouTube channel. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, I want to have more subscribers, more people checking in, tuning in. And so what I found is, with a little bit of research, is that, the algorithm, the Google YouTube algorithm doesn't even really start registering your videos until you have at least 35 videos up. So instead of, this big grand goal of growing my YouTube channel, which can be very vague, and you don't know like what that will entail, I set a smaller, more actionable goal for myself, which was to upload 35 videos in 35 days, so a new video every day. And that is a goal that is small enough and measurable that I feel like I can stick with. And at the end of those 35 days, will I have grown my YouTube channel? I don't know. But it's just one step that I'm taking to get a little bit closer to that goal. And I will say, since I've come up with that resolution, I've gotten new followers. I don't know how, I don't know where they came from, I don't know how they found my page, but there might be something to, consistently posting, so that someone, maybe could stumble on or discover your page. So, I remember when I first started, I only had like three subscribers, and the number is growing. So I don't know if it's my consistency. I hope it's the fact that I'm being consistent, but that is the overall goal. But my immediate short-term goal is to just post consistently, and that's starting out with getting 35 videos up. It might be an arbitrary number, but it's something that I can work towards. And I feel like if I do that, I will see some benefits, some improvement, some change. And until I do that, I can't really be mad or blame anything or anybody for not having any growth on my YouTube channel, because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. So now I feel like I'm fulfilling that. And like I said, it doesn't guarantee that my channel is going to grow, but I think it just puts me one step closer, and it doesn't hurt. Another thing that I've been trying to be more consistent with is working out and going to the gym, and running in particular. So I consider myself a runner now, but I did not consider myself a runner before. It's something that I didn't enjoy. I used to scoff at people who I would see running, in 30-degree weather, 40-degree weather, anything that was, just even when it was hot, any weather, I was just being a hater. I can't lie. Anytime I saw somebody running, I was like, that's stupid. Why would anybody do that? But since COVID has happened, I have picked up running, and now I get it. Like, I see the allure behind running. I understand, wanting to improve and wanting to get better. And then also, less from a goal standpoint, but I now see that there are really good benefits to running, where it's just like a better overall sense of well-being, better heart strength, better heart rate, just better, you just feel better. You get these endorphins when you run, and you're just in better spirits, you have a better mood, and your overall health is just in a better place. And so that's something that I learned, and I would have never known unless I tried it. So another thing that I'm trying to do is stay consistent with my running, consistently. So I try to do like 2 miles every day, which is good. Is a good pace and a good thing for me. I know some people run 5, some people run 10 miles a day, but for me, even running a half a mile, before I started this journey would have been, it would have been ridiculous. I would have been like, that's stupid. I would never do that. But now here I am, and I'm setting these running goals for myself, in hopes to get better, to become a stronger runner. And so yeah, it's been good. It's been good. And so I guess I'm just rambling about this because I'm talking about how important it is to set goals, but not only setting goals, not setting goals for setting goals' sake, but setting tangible goals, breaking down big objectives into smaller objectives, and just focus on doing those smaller things and knowing or believing that those smaller tasks will pay off in the end. So for you to say I want to be able to run a marathon by in 2 weeks or something, like that is not a realistic goal. One, because you're not giving yourself actionable items to do daily or regularly to even help you get to that goal. So it just becomes like this big grandiose thing that you're not really making any real plans for. So it's easy to make a lofty goal to be like, I want to do ... by this date, and not really putting any plan into effect. And that's how it's easy to be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this thing, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and not put any effort into it. And I'm trying to get out of that habit. Same thing with my art. With my YouTube channel. Hey, I want to grow my YouTube channel. Okay, that's very vague. Like, what does that even mean? Okay, what do I have to do? Break it down into smaller steps. Okay, at the very least, I have to paint and post to my YouTube channel. So that is a small goal that I have to do. And then I broke it down into even smaller goals, which is what I was talking about earlier when I had the technical difficulties. Okay, I want to paint every day. What do I have to do to make sure that happens? That means I have to, the night before, since I paint in the morning time, make sure that I have, what I'm going to paint already set up. Make sure that I have my file already set up so that there's literally no barrier. I just click record and start streaming, and so there's no excuses as to why I'm not painting and sharing, because everything, there's no barriers. So I think that's another good exercise. We all have those barriers. Another barrier for me leaving and going to the gym in the morning was like kind of just having it on my calendar as a thing to do at a specific time every day, no matter what. So my gym time is 7 a.m. because I'm already up in the morning. So I have to make sure that I go every day at 7 a.m. And if I don't go at 7 a.m., it'll make it way, way, way harder to do. So just, making it a habit, getting used to the routine. I read somewhere, I don't know how many times it is, but they say that, you have to do something like, 20 times or 30 times or something like that consistently before it becomes a habit. And so just really focusing on making new habits, forming new habits is a big part of like just having success. You guys may not know, but I roller skate, and roller skating was something that I really, really enjoyed doing, and I created a habit of it so much so that my internal body clock just knew that when it was time to skate. So say skating hours was from 7 to 10 or something like that. My body, like after doing it enough and consistently, it just like I just had an internal clock that knew it was 7 o'clock on the dot, or it was 6 o'clock, or it was just like time to start getting ready. My body, it was in autopilot, and I would just get up, get my things, and head out the door and go skating. And it was easier to do that because it was something that I liked. It was something that I enjoyed doing, and so nobody really had to pull my leg to do those things. And skating's not easy. It's difficult. Like, it's not an easy thing to do. It takes a lot of work to become good at it. A lot of trial and error. A lot of falling. A lot of hurting yourself, falling on your butt. A lot of mistakes. But because I found it enjoyable, it was very, very easy to do. I didn't have to force myself to do it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I did it on my own because I really loved it. And, I wanted to get better. I wanted to improve as a skater. There was no competition involved, but, you just wanted to have bragging rights. You just wanted to be able to, friendly competition among other skaters, no money involved, not like we were training for the Olympics or anything, but it was just fun. it was just fun. And sometimes, having the bragging rights of being the best skater or being the best XYZ is enough to push people forward. I know that for whatever reason that pushed me forward. Like I just wanted to be excellent in that particular thing, and maybe not necessarily better than the next person, but I just wanted to be good. I just wanted to be good at this particular sport, and that was enough. And that took me a really long way in my skate life. And then besides that whole factor of wanting to be a good skater, like, and this is something that I understand now, through reading and things like that, is like skating like let off like huge amounts of endorphins. So I would get this skate high that would always bring me back to the rink. It was just this feeling of well-being and goodness that I just wanted to keep recreating day after day, to the point where I would just feel like off if I wasn't skating. It's just a really good feeling. So I feel like, I guess, if you're gonna be addicted to something, it should be something that's good for you. It's gonna help your body. And so yeah, it's that that's it. And so I try to take those lessons. And these are lessons that they say that you learn when you do sports and you do team sports. These are things that you learn on your journey, like the idea of not being good at something, and then just putting in the time and effort, and then seeing seeing it change. That's a really good feeling. Like not being good at something, and then you putting in enough work and time and effort, and then being good at it. I don't think there's many things that could match that feeling of accomplishment, at least not to me. But it also lets you know that, when you do those things and you learn that, like almost anything is possible. And I try to take these lessons that I learned from the skate world into my art. So, say I want to become a professional artist where I'm making good money, like not just some projects here and there, but like really thriving as an artist. You start to realize that it's possible, and it's sometimes it's who you know, and it's not really a meritocracy. But a lot of times, especially with hard skills like art and painting and drawing and things like that, like it's if you can produce the work consistently, like it doesn't even have to be good work a lot of the time. Sometimes it's just enough to prove that you can consistently create, especially if you're dealing with companies or they might accept subpar, mediocre work as long as you're always showing up, because if you think about it, even if you do really, really great, excellent work, if you can't do it consistently, like that really doesn't benefit anybody. So I think sometimes people rather have consistently okay work than like sporadic or once in a lifetime really, really excellent work. And maybe that works for after you passed away and your legacy and you have that masterpiece that you've done. But like for the real world, for the world that we're living in now, that's not really sustainable. I think that's why like it's so hard for like I think about like musical artists, like people you can live off of the old work that you did, but people are always looking for your next thing. So that's why it's so easy to fall off, because sometimes people get complacent, and I guess they just, I made this one hit back in 1997, and they think they're gonna like receive clout for that song forever, even if the song is like super, super iconic. Even there are times where it kind of goes out of favor. So a perfect example is Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You. Like that has been a hit on the Christmas charts for a long time, but recently I just started seeing on social media that the song is really getting a lot of clout, whereas, not saying that it didn't before, but it's really getting like re-popular. And I think it's because a lot of people who didn't know about the song before are discovering it through social media and other means. So it's like people are rediscovering this song and that's cool. But sometimes you'll make something and people will forget about it, and you can't live off of that. You can't make a living off of a song that or some work that people forgot about. And, everything is cyclical. Everything comes back eventually. But what do you do in that between time? Like, do you just wait for it to come back around the next 20 years so you can start eating off of your work again? I don't know. It's not very reliable unless you made so much money that you can like really just chill. And then this is kind of a tangent, but I also think about people who made something or created something really really awesome and inspiring. They often won't try anything else because they feel like their new endeavors won't live up to their old what else they put out. And I don't know. I don't know. Is there a time where you should just hang it up? I don't. Scary to think about because I know a lot of artists, or I can think of some artists that we feel like should have just gave up a long time ago. But it's not because they don't have the ability. I think it's when they try to imitate or mimic what the current sound is, and they're not really being innovative, and they're not really pushing it to another level, where they're not being themselves. They're trying to be a different artist, and that's kind of corny. And I think that's what happens with a lot of artists. So they're not really pushing the envelope. They're just trying to quote unquote stay relevant, and they're not pushing the genre forward, or they get trapped in what they did 30 years ago, and they keep just trying to recreate that thing. That's also corny. That's not really going to work. You have to progress and move forward. I can't really think of any artists right now who have consistently moved whatever genre that they're in forward. If you guys think of anybody, put it in the comment section. I don't know. Even Prince, to a certain extent, I feel like was kind of stuck in his ways. I'm not saying that he wasn't still making good music, but I don't know. I haven't heard any hits after like 1997. But if I'm wrong, let me know. Let me know. So yeah, man. That is my rant about effort and excellence and trying and putting in the work and the time and believing that things are possible, which sometimes it feels like things are impossible, and makes you want to quit, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because if you're not doing the thing, then you're not taking the steps necessary to kind of get you out of that bad situation. So it becomes the truth, So anyway, consistency is the key. Going back to my personal regimen, I try to run 2 miles every day. And before I was like running 2 miles, but I also was like trying to push my time, like trying to push myself so that I could beat my time. And so the weirdest thing happened today, like I was just listening to a podcast while I was running, and I wasn't really focusing on time. I wasn't checking my Fitbit constantly to see, if I was improving, and I just found like this really good pace, and I was just not mindlessly jogging, but I was like more into the podcast than I was into my running time. And the craziest thing, like I beat my running time from yesterday, which is a day where I was like way more focused on beating my time. So I don't know if that is because just through the act of me running, I just get better by default, or was it that since I wasn't focused as much, I guess it put less stress on my body or whatever. I don't know what it is, but it's probably better now that I think about it to just focus on doing the thing every day, as opposed to like trying to beat yourself every day, because then you don't beat your goal and then you get discouraged and like, man, I don't even want to do this. What am I doing this for? So I guess what I'm trying to say is consistency is key, at least for me. I found that being consistent, it's a good look, and it allows me to accomplish my goals. And so that is my focus. I don't know if that should be your focus because everybody's different, but I've come to find out that consistency and staying consistent should be my main focus as opposed to breaking my own records or whatever. And it's like I know this by default because even like I said, thinking about me as a roller skater, me trying to get a move, like when you're working on it, you never get it. You never get the move while you're working on a move. It's after weeks and weeks and weeks of trying that one day you're just at the rink and you're not really paying attention, and then you just pull the move off effortlessly, like you always knew how to do it. And that only comes from a lot of work. And that's also something that I know. It's like you're not going to see the effects of your effort, of your labor immediately. And if you're just constantly checking to see have you improved, you'll get discouraged and you'll quit before you've given yourself or your body enough time to get good at the thing. So, and I'm saying this to the audience, but I'm really talking to myself just to remind myself, especially when I get discouraged or if a painting's not working or something's not going my way as far as art is concerned. Like I have to remember that that is a part of the process, and you're not going to see improvement immediately every single session, and it's something that you just have to wait for gradually. It's the same thing with weight loss. Like you're not seeing weight loss happens gradually. Not to say that you shouldn't like evaluate and adjust, but if you got to give yourself some time, and then say if you're working out and it's been 3 months and you haven't lost like 1 pound, you might have to reevaluate. Maybe you're eating too much, maybe you're not working out hard enough. But I feel like that's less of an issue than just staying consistent. All right, that's my timer. My timer just went off. I feel like that's less of an issue than just staying consistent, because chances are if you are consistently doing something over an extended period of time, you will see change. You will get better. The hard part is the staying consistent part, and I think we kid ourselves as to how much consistency we're actually having, because you'll see results. People are like, oh, I've been doing this for 2 weeks and I haven't seen any results. Well, try 2 months. If you don't see results in 2 months, it might take 7 months to see results. And I think that's challenging thing about weight loss and exercise. Like people think that especially if you're like overweight, like you'll see dramatic weight loss when you first start, and then it'll start to taper off because your body kind of goes into a place of equilibrium. And I think it's the same thing with practice and training of any kind. Your body eventually gets used to it and it goes into a state of equilibrium, so you don't see as much progress as you did when you first started. And that, I'm speaking for myself, that's usually about the time where I start to get discouraged and I stop putting in the same amount of effort, or I just quit altogether on the thing that I was trying to do. And so it's just, it's just good to know that that's just how the body works. Our body's always trying to reach what they call homeostasis, which is this place of just where your body doesn't have to work as hard for certain things. And when your body gets there, it's like you kind of have to up the bar, so to speak. And knowing when to do that is also difficult. When do I step it up? When do I push myself a little bit harder without burnout? So these are things that you have to figure out as you grow. But I feel like subconsciously or subliminally, we know when a workout is getting too boring and we don't really enjoy doing it anymore because it has become too easy. And I feel like it's the same thing for running. Like, if it gets to a point where I feel like running is just like blah, and it's like, rote memorization, I might need to step it up. I might need to might need to try something else. I might need to increase my time. I might need to increase my mileage. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been running long enough to experience that just yet, where I feel like I'm going through the drudgery of running, where it's no longer fun. I don't feel like I'm getting anything out of it. I haven't been running long enough to feel that thing. I mean, I've experienced that with roller skating, where it's like, it's just the same old thing over and over again. And I think that's where I had to learn or practice to, like, if my routine was getting boring, if my, things I would do on the skate floor were getting predictable or boring, that would be the time for me to step it up. Maybe do some research, maybe learn some new moves, try to get some tips from somewhere else. There's things you could do to, like, kind of keep you motivated, keep you interested. Just gotta think about what that thing, because there's gonna be a point where running is gonna be like, this is boring. I just don't want to keep doing this. And I think that'll be a time for maybe up my distance or up my time. Like, okay, I'm trying to do this in this amount of time instead of that amount of time. Like, really try to push myself. Just thinking out loud for when that time happens, because it always happens. Or is it that, sometimes it just gets boring and you just have to push through that boring time, and then you will rediscover your love for the thing, just as time progresses. That's another, maybe there's really no way to stop that boredom. Like, it's just a part of the process. It's just what happens. And you just got to stay consistent and keep sticking with it. And then maybe you'll get over that hump of, that boredom hump. I don't know. I don't got the answer. I don't know. I do not know. Yeah. Okay, I think this is done. I'm happy with how this came out. It's not my short break. Yeah, that was my short break, but I think I'm done with this. The painting I did earlier was similar to this. It was the same girl, but, like, from a different angle. And maybe this was a lot easier and it took me less time because it's, like, kind of ingrained in my brain as to what this model was supposed to look like already. Like, it took less time because I kind of already painted it, kind of, but not really. So it was a lot easier. Not easier. Let's see. Alright, let's see where we are. Alright, I think that's it. This was fun. I think I got the gist of it. And I think that I will call it quits. Thank you for tuning in. See you guys later.